your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Plenty of cloud cover out there today. We've still got the clouds out there tonight. But our temperatures are hovering right there near that freezing mark and should be right near that reading pretty much for the rest of tonight and to start out tomorrow. But after a couple of days here where we've not seen the sun hardly at all and temperatures staying rather cool, we're going to see a nice turnaround tomorrow. The sun comes back, the temperatures jump. We're talking low and mid 50s for highs, and we may do it more than just tomorrow. We'll show you how many days in a row that will occur. And then when things really take a change, rain and snow is in the forecast on the 7-day. I'll share it with you coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
It may not be the Grinch, but someone's trying to ruin Christmas. What and where police are investigating. Plus, most people try to hide the fact they're committing a crime, but one man was caught red-handed on a police chief's property.
And it's been decades since there was a fight for House Speaker. How current Speaker Michael Madigan took the gavel the last time this happened.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
It definitely was disturbing, to say the least, and it's frustrating, but I think we're glad that nothing worse had happened.
Police are investigating after a pair of vandals went home to home in Ogden, taking flags, signs, and Christmas decorations. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jessica Coons. Neighbors are sharing their own surveillance videos, all in the hopes of finding the suspects. WCIA 3's Jen Lask spoke to some of the people whose yards were vandalized.
Grace Lowe discovered her family's flag was gone as she was leaving for work.
I had seen that the flag was removed and that the rope was just flying in the wind, and I knew that that wasn't typical.
Lowe says her father, the son of a veteran, would never take the flag down so unceremoniously.
So he would usually put the clips back up at the top and then wrap the rope around and tie it up.
Lowe later saw all the surveillance videos from her neighbors showing a pair of vandals hitting homes in the middle of the night. They stole decorations, graduation signs, and American flags.
Once I had found out that there was more things in town that had happened, I know like the Christmas decorations, things like that, and a few other people had their flags stolen as well. To me, I just felt like with the flag being stolen, that was just a different level.
And as police try to figure out who would do such a thing, Lowe says she's focusing on why.
My heart is just to pray for them and whatever it is that they have as to why they would do this, because I see no benefit for them or for us.
In Ogden, Jen Lask, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Officers were out in Ogden responding to reports today. Some items were located just a few yards down from their original homes, while others, like the Lowe family's flag, have yet to be found.
Springfield police are investigating after a teenager was shot last night. It happened near Butler Street and Bradley Court. Police say the 16-year-old was walking to a nearby store. He's expected to be okay. Neighbors say they heard a car speed off after they heard gunshots. If you have any information about what happened, call police or Crime Stoppers. A man in Ford County was arrested after he was accused of hitting a woman with his car. Gibson City police say the woman was walking near Wood and 12th Streets. They say Paul Thiesfield got out of the car after hitting her, got back in, then drove off. They found him at his home in Roberts. He's charged with attempted aggravated criminal sexual assault and attempted aggravated kidnapping. We tried to learn more about those charges, but the state's attorney didn't get back to us. Thiesfield was the water superintendent for 2 towns. The village board president of Roberts says Thiesfield was let go from his position yesterday. The village board president of Elliott says they were voting on his termination tonight.
A Mattoon man is accused of making meth on the police chief's property. Brian Shadwell is charged with manufacturing and property damage. Police Chief Jason Taylor says he got a call about something suspicious happening on his property. When he went there to investigate, he found materials used to make meth. Then Shadwell rode onto his property on a lawnmower with a chainsaw.
He was removed from the lawnmower and placed on the ground, placed in handcuffs because he was already wanted on some outstanding drug warrants, failure to appear in court. And we spoke to him briefly. He indicated that he didn't place the jar on my property, but he probably knew who did.
Taylor says more investigating proved that Shadwell was making the meth. He says meth is a huge problem in the Mattoon community, as it is in many others as well.
Here's a follow-up. Police are still collecting evidence for their investigation into a youth pastor and assistant football coach in Taylorville. Zachary Crowell is charged with grooming minors for sex. Detectives seized computers and other electronic devices from his home and offices at the Taylorville Christian Church yesterday. Police tell us the evidence they've reviewed shows Crowell was trying to arrange meetings with 13-year-old boys for sex. The Christian County Sheriff says they believe more victims may be out there. And a system error has Atwood Police investigating sex offender compliance. Police say they received complaints about a sex offender not registering their new address. After investigating, they learned the offender did properly register, but the information wasn't updated in the correct system. Now, Atwood Police are spending the week making sure sex offenders in town are in compliance with state regulations.
Switching now to today's coronavirus numbers, the state announced more than 7,900 new cases. The positivity rate is currently 11.8%. Nearly 5,200 people are in the hospital. 70% of ICU beds are being used in Region 6. Region 3 is using 86%. 145 more people have died, including 18 in central Illinois. Nearly 13,500 people have died so far across the state. Many people are choosing to limit holiday gatherings to people living under the same roof. But what do you do if someone in your household tests positive for COVID-19? Health experts say a family member with COVID should isolate in their own room, sleep in their own space, and use a separate restroom if possible. The sick person should use their own personal items, including bath and hand towels. Doctors say they should also limit contact with any pets. It's important for the person caring for them to also watch out for worsening symptoms.
Is if the person becomes confused and they're not normally confused, or if they're really having trouble breathing, or especially if their lips look blue, then you should get emergency help right away.
Experts say confusion can indicate lack of oxygen to the brain. If a sick family member cannot be in their own room or space, doctors say opening windows is critical for air circulation. Make sure to wear a mask and gloves while interacting with and looking after the sick person to avoid infecting yourself as well.
The Illinois Federation of Teachers represents more than 100,000 people, and it's calling on the state to prioritize education workers to receive the COVID vaccine. Right now, the first priority groups for Illinois will be healthcare workers and people living in long-term care facilities. Public health officials are warning, with a limited number of doses going to the state this month, going down the list of priority groups and ultimately to the general public will take months. We have an update from 6 o'clock. Decatur Public Schools Board of Education is discussing changing the name of an elementary school. Parsons Elementary was named after James B. Parsons, the first African-American U.S. District Court judge. And now it's being merged with another school, and the board is following policy in taking a name change into consideration. However, during tonight's meeting, the board president said the name may not change. Family of Parsons said they want the name to remain the same and continue his legacy. A vote's expected in late January.
It's a top 10 matchup tonight between Illinois and Duke. We'll have the latest.
Plus, Speaker Madigan doesn't have the votes to keep his gavel, but the problem for his opponents is they also don't have the votes to take it from him. What that means for the future of the House.
And kids have gotten more than their fair share of screen time during the pandemic. How some got a hands-on lesson instead.